Hello and welcome. In the vast and ever-changing world of business, there are two major players constantly vying for attention. We call them B2B and B2C. Now, these might sound like complicated codes or maybe even new tech speak, but I promise they are much simpler than that. Think of it as a giant marketplace. Some stalls sell things directly to you, the shopper. Other stalls sell their goods to the other stall holders. That, in a nutshell, is the core difference we are going to explore. It's a fundamental concept that shapes how companies operate, how they talk to their customers, and ultimately, how they make money. Understanding this difference is key to seeing the business world more clearly. As we stand here in 2025, the lines between these two models are becoming more interesting and a little bit blurry. Technology, social media, our own changing habits as consumers are pushing businesses to think in new ways. What worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. So which model is better? Which one is poised to win in the years to come? It's not a simple question with a simple answer. It's a bit like asking whether it's better to be a sprinter or a marathon runner. Both are incredible athletes, but they are trained for very different races. Let's start with the one we all know best, even if we don't use its official name. B2C stands for business to consumer. It's as simple as it sounds. This is when a company sells its products or services directly to individual people, like you and me. Think about your morning coffee. You walk into a cafe, a business, and you, a consumer, buy a latte. That's a classic B2C transaction. It is the most common type of business model we interact with every single day. From the clothes you wear to the phone you're probably holding, most of it came to you through a B2C company. The main goal of a B2C business is to appeal to the personal needs and wants of an individual. The decisions to buy are often driven by emotion, price, and convenience. You see a cool pair of sneakers online, you like how they look, the price is right, and with a few clicks, they are on their way to your doorstep. The whole process is designed to be quick, easy, and satisfying. Companies in this space spend a lot of time and money on marketing and advertising. They want to create a strong brand that you connect with on a personal level, making you feel good about your purchase. In 2025, the B2C world is more dynamic than ever. It's not just about brick-and-mortar stores anymore, it's a massive online universe. Now let's switch gears, look at the other side of the coin, B2B or business to business. This model might seem a bit more hidden from our daily lives, but it is absolutely massive and just as important. In the B2B world, companies sell their products or services not to individual consumers, but to other companies. These other companies then use those products or services to run their own operations, create their own products, serve their own customers. It's the engine room of the economy working hard behind the scenes to make everything else possible. Think back to that cafe where you bought your B2C coffee. Where did the cafe get its coffee beans? Where did they get their espresso machine? And the software they use to process your payment. All of these transactions, beans, machine, software, are B2B. They are businesses helping other businesses succeed. It's a chain of commerce that is invisible to the final consumer. Unlike B2C purchases that are often emotional and quick, B2B decisions are usually much more complex and logical. A company doesn't buy $1 million software system on a whim. The decision involves multiple people, managers, finance departments, IT specialists. Now that we have a good handle on what B2B and B2C are, let's put them side by side and look at their key differences in 2025. The most obvious difference: a company doesn't buy $1 million software system on a whim. The decision involves multiple people, managers, finance departments, IT specialists. Now that we have a good handle on what B2B and B2C are, let's put them side by side and look at their key differences in 2025. The most obvious difference is the customer. B2C targets a huge, broad market of individual consumers. B2B targets a much smaller, specific group of other companies. This fundamental distinction creates a ripple effect, changing everything from marketing to the final price tag. In B2C, you might be one of millions of potential customers. In B2B, you might be one of only a few hundred companies in the entire world that need a particular product. This leads to a massive difference in relationships. B2C relationships are often transactional and short-term. You buy a t-shirt, and that might be your only interaction with that brand for a year. The goal is to make the sale quickly and efficiently. B2B, on the other hand, is all about building deep, long-term partnerships. The sale is just the beginning. Companies provide ongoing support training upgrades. The success of the B2B seller is directly tied to the success of their business client. It's a much more collaborative and involved relationship that can last for many, many years. So the business-to-consumer model has some fantastic advantages, which is honestly why it's such a popular path for so many entrepreneurs and companies. One of its biggest strengths is the potential for a massive customer base. You're not limited to a niche group of businesses. Literally, anyone could be your customer. This creates a huge opportunity for high sales volume, and even though the price of each item might be small, like a $5 coffee, selling thousands of them every day really adds up to significant revenue. This scalability is what allows a popular product to reach millions of people and become a household name very quickly. Another key advantage is the shorter sales cycle. B2C purchases are often impulsive and can be completed in just minutes. A customer sees an ad, clicks a link, and buys a product. No long negotiations or committee approvals needed. This speed allows B2C companies to generate revenue much faster, and on top of that, they can test new products and marketing ideas quickly, getting immediate feedback from the market. If a new flavor of chips is a hit, the company knows right away. This kind of agility is a powerful tool in a fast-changing consumer landscape, allowing businesses to adapt and pivot with incredible speed. Furthermore, B2C businesses have a unique opportunity to build powerful, emotionally resonant brands. While the B2C world is flashy, the business-to-business model has its own set of powerful advantages that make it an incredibly stable and lucrative arena. One of the most significant benefits is the potential for much larger transaction sizes. A B2C company might sell a t-shirt for $30. A B2B company might sell a software subscription to a large corporation for $300,000 per year. You don't need millions of customers to build a hugely successful B2B company. Just a handful of high-value clients can lead to substantial, predictable revenue streams, providing a strong foundation for growth and stability. Another major advantage is the high potential for customer loyalty and retention. Because the B2B sales cycle is so long and the products are often deeply integrated into the client's operations, switching to a competitor is a major hassle. Think about a company that uses a specific accounting software across all its departments. Changing that system would require retraining hundreds of employees, migrating massive amounts of data. It's a huge undertaking. As a result, once a subscription to a large corporation for $300,000 per year, you don't need millions of customers to build a hugely successful B2B company. Just a handful of high-value clients can lead to substantial, predictable revenue streams, providing a strong foundation for growth and stability. Another major advantage is the high potential for customer loyalty and retention. Because the B2B sales cycle is so long and the products are often deeply integrated into the client's operations, switching to a competitor is a major hassle. Think about a company that uses a specific accounting software across all its departments. Changing that system would require retraining hundreds of employees, migrating massive amounts of data. It's a huge undertaking. As a result, once a B2B company wins a client, they are likely to keep them for many years, creating a reliable and recurring source of income. The B2B market also fosters deep collaborative relationships. You are not just a vendor, you become a strategic partner. For all its glamour, the B2C world is not without its significant challenges. One of the biggest hurdles is the sheer amount of competition. Because the barrier to entry can be low, especially in e-commerce, markets are incredibly crowded. For every successful online clothing store, there are thousands of others trying to sell similar products. This fierce competition drives up advertising costs and puts constant pressure on prices. It's a daily battle to stand out from the noise and capture the attention of easily distracted consumers. Staying visible and relevant requires constant effort and significant investment. Another major disadvantage is the lower customer loyalty. B2C consumers are notoriously fickle, They have endless choices at their fingertips and are constantly being tempted by new brands and better deals. A customer who loves your brand today might easily switch to a competitor tomorrow if they offer a 20% discount or free shipping. Building true, lasting loyalty is a monumental task. It requires not just a great product, but also exceptional customer service, a strong brand identity, and a consistently positive experience. One bad review, or a single poor interaction, can send a customer running to your rival. The pressure to keep prices low is a constant struggle for B2C companies. The B2B world, with its promise of stability and high-value deals, also comes with its own set of formidable hurdles. The most prominent challenge is the incredibly long and complex sales cycle. It can take months or even over a year to close a single deal. During this time, you have to navigate multiple decision-makers, endless meetings, detailed proposals, security reviews, and tough negotiations. A key person might leave the client company, a budget might get cut, or priorities might shift, causing a promising deal to fall apart after months of hard work. This makes revenue forecasting difficult and requires a great deal of patience. Another significant disadvantage is the much smaller pool of potential customers. Unlike B2C, where your market could be millions of people, your B2B market might only consist of a few thousand or even a few hundred companies worldwide. This means that losing just one major client can have a massive impact on your revenue. The pressure to keep every single client happy is immense. Your reputation within a small, tight-knit industry is everything. In the 2025 business battle, does B2B or B2C win? The truth is, there is no single winner. Instead, they are two different paths to success. Ultimately, success in 2025 and beyond will be defined by a relentless focus on the customer, whether that customer is an individual or a corporation. Both models demand understanding customer needs, commitment to providing real value, and agility to adapt to a constantly changing world.